I am Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow, and this is Chris.
I'm her lovely assistant, Chris.
That's right. He is going to be holding up this Wendy's bag here today.
Well, because whenever we talk about the cost of Keto Chow, a lot of people are like, hey, that is so expensive. Well, let's talk about how Keto Chow, well, first off, how would we use Keto Chow?
It's a meal, right?
Yeah, it's a meal, and more often than not, the target use case is you're in a rush to get somewhere. You don't have time to prepare like bacon and eggs in the morning. You just need something that you can like take to work or take to school or drive with or something like that. And you need good nutrition that isn't difficult to make and is going to leave you satisfied and not hungry and not snacky. That's what we're looking for with Keto Chow.
Yeah.
Because people often use Keto Chow for something that is easy when they're traveling or as kind of a on-the-go thing. When we're out and about, a lot of times we know that if you find a Wendy's, you can get the Baconator, which is quite delicious.
Delicious.
But I seem to always be disappointed with the Baconator.
You have to get 2 Baconators.
If I want to not be hungry, an hour later, I usually get 2. So we decided that we would bring in a Baconator and just kind of talk about what's going on as far as fast food, how it compares to Keto Chow, and all of that.
Yeah, and to be sure, we love the Baconator, so we're not trying to diss on it. We're mostly talking about price here.
Yes.
Because there's also a time when you won't have a refrigerator, and if you've already pre-made your Keto Chow, it's not like you have a cooler in the back of your car to pull it out, so you're still going to do fast food occasionally. Yeah,
that's absolutely true. And this recently came up when we were in Florida on a family trip. We needed to get some food. Everybody was hangry. I actually didn't get a Baconator because I knew that I would not be satisfied. We went to the house and I cooked a hamburger instead. So anyway, let's get into it. Now, one of the things to note is the prices for fast food have been going up a lot.
Yeah.
As of this recording, it is May 2024. Hello, people in the future. Well, as of right now, this is actually 2 Baconators. It was $9.09.
Yeah, that's a lot.
$19.68 for the 2 of them after tax and everything else. Okay.
Legit receipt.
Too legit to quit. Hey, hey. By the way, with that same amount of money, you could make 3.5, maybe 4 Keto Chows at the highest price that you could possibly pay.
Right.
If you were buying Keto Chow on a subscription or in a big bag, you could probably do 4.
Yeah, and there's no way you could eat 4 Keto Chows at once.
Good luck with that.
You would be sick.
Okay, so let's see what we're getting with that $20.
Let's see. Open it.
There we go. Ooh, it's sealed. Sealed. All right. Got obligatory napkins.
Yeah.
We've got... Okay, here's one of the Baconators.
Looks exactly like the picture.
No, it does not. Now, to be fair, when food stylists they take an actual thing like this and they style it up, legally you are required to use the actual thing. You have to use the same buns, same hamburgers, everything else, but they always like front load the bacon over here.
Also the lettuce usually.
Yep. Okay, so there's a couple of issues with this already. Okay, number 1, it's got buns. And this was ordered, no changes to it.
Don't waste that piece of bacon.
But here's the issue. Every time I go to get something like this at a fast food restaurant, they mess up on the order. It doesn't matter how many times I tell them, I don't want buns, I don't want ketchup. Do you notice the ketchup on here? That ketchup is full of sugar.
Ketchup.
It is sugar ketchup.
This is what you do, right? You just scrape it off the best you can. And then you know you're going to have some because it's just going to be in there. And you put this tiny piece of bacon that just really wants to escape.
You also got mayo on there. And it depends on the different hamburger as far as what's going to be on there. But this is what typically is going to happen every time I order a Baconator.
And don't even try to get tacos. They can never figure it out.
That's
then you have to figure out what to do with the gross napkin.
Yeah.
And put it with the buns.
And heaven forbid you're driving. So now...
Doesn't look as good as the picture.
This is what you're left with.
Still
not
delicious.
Bad. I mean,
right?
It is still...
I'll eat it.
It's fine. And that would do okay in a pinch. But again, this is $9.09. And if you wanted to get 2 of them so that you could be really, actually full and satiated, you may have to do 2, you may have to do 1.5. So let's talk about this. How much does a Keto Chow cost?
$5.50.
So I've got my Baconator here that was $9.09. How much could I buy for $5.50?
It's not quite half. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll eat the $4 section.
Okay.
You eat the $5 section.
So here we go. This is comparable to a Keto Chow.
That's really little.
In a Baconator, now this is of course with the bun, 960 calories, 66 grams of fat. So strangely enough, this actually had, if you were to mix up Keto Chow with a half stick of butter,
right,
which is usually what I do, and that leaves me very satiated, this actually has twice as many calories. Now a lot of that, 36 grams of carbs from the bun and from the ketchup and stuff.
Yeah. It's
so
also fake cheese.
It's probably 700 something, but I know I'd eat 2 of them. And so then I'm close to almost my daily calories.
Yeah.
And the amount of fat that I really want to get. I don't know, maybe it's that I'm driving around and I just am not really getting satiated, but it never works for me, especially eating half of one.
Right.
So as far as comparisons go, a good on-the-go meal, if you have the ability to mix up a Keto Chow, way better compared to these. So there we go. That's as far as a comparison to a Baconator. Now on the other hand, Keto Chow just tastes like a big giant thing of
ice cream.
If that's more your speed, that might be a better way to go. Now looking at the cost of these, this is a Baconator double.
Right.
And well, what you get for the cost of a Keto Chow. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that the cost of fast food, well, thank you, has been going up and up and up and up. I remember going to a Wendy's and getting stuff off the dollar menu.
Yeah.
Nothing is $1 anymore.
Well, if we look, we've got these prices stacked out here. So 2014, you could get a Frosty for 99 cents. Now it's $2.09.
So it's roughly double.
So a large chili would be $2.49, and now it's $4.19. Spicy chicken sandwich combo, $6.39. Ooh, now it's $9.99.
Yeah, and the Baconator was $5.89. Now it's showing $7.99, depending on where you're buying it from.
And like we said, this is a double, but yeah, that's just a lot. It's actually the best thing to do is just to go get some burgers from the store and make them at your house.
That's true. Although if you're doing that, you could also make up some Keto Chow and have it ready to go.
And you could have both.
We had a comment from Jerry.
Yeah.
He said, how do you afford Keto Chow? Easy. $5 to $6 for a full meal is less than going out to eat.
It's true. That's true. Because when you go out to eat, even if you get the cheapest thing, like we go out, if we get 2 of these, it'd be $20 just to go to Wendy's.
Now, for fun, we decided to do a little comparison between Wendy's very popular chocolate Frosty and chocolate Keto Chow. And we were not surprised at all at the outcome.
Can I just tell you, I was really happy when we had the chocolate Keto Chow because I do miss Wendy's Frosties, and I haven't had them in, 6, 7 years? And it's really nice to just have a chocolate shake.
Yeah.
Here's a comment from Kathleen. How do you give yourself the kick in the pants to stick to this? I can't seem to motivate myself to stick to keto or low-carb diet or exercise or anything. I love my mocha in the morning, and that tends to get me through to dinner, and I have it late enough. I am trying to not bring bad food in the house, but fast food is just so convenient for the whole family.
The convenience factor of fast food is one of the things that will often get people, and sometimes they make decisions that they aren't really happy with, like they'll get some fries and they'll eat those, and that doesn't really fit into their lifestyle or their goals, and then they feel bad about themselves and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that has to do with maybe decision fatigue, or they just don't have the spoons.
Yeah.
You
the spoons.
You don't have, you have so many spoons to do stuff per day.
You're taking your energy as spoons, right?
And maybe you just don't have enough to make the tough decisions to stick to your goals and what you're trying to do. And that's where I think Keto Chow is fantastic. You've got the energy, you've got the spoons to do dinner with your family.
Yeah, then that's what you should do.
But maybe you don't have the energy to figure out what to do for lunch. And you're just like, you know what? I just can't right now. I need something to get me through it, to help me stick to my goals and be successful. And that's really what we're talking about with Keto Chow. For a convenient meal when you just can't, that's really where Keto Chow shines.
Yeah.
The price is a lot lower than going out to most fast food places I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There are some hacks that you can do where you go to different restaurants and just order a hamburger patty. Yeah.
I like Keto
Now, as far
Chow
as
too.
on the road, a lot of times what people will do is, with the Keto Chow, is they will get like a little cooler, throw a little bit of ice in there, and then a couple of shaker bottles full of Keto Chow. I know some people who have just straight up frozen their Keto Chow ahead of time, and then it's just sitting there in the car, and it slowly melts, and by the time it's melted, it's time to drink it.
Them to drink it.
A little time there's a little bit of icy in there.
Yes,
It's like a little frosty.
shake.
Okay. Or I know a lot of people who will they'll just take Keto Chow, drink it during the first like hour or two, pour some water in there, rinse it out, let it just sit there.
Yeah.
And that can be a convenient way to do it as well.
Yeah, something else for like road trips. It's really great for the driver because it's hard to, pull over and eat this if you're like, I'm trying to get there fast.
Yep.
And then you feel like you're choking it down and you're like, oh. But you can take it a little bit slower when you're driving if you have to. Linda points out, my husband and I were spending $150 a week on eating out, and Keto Chow has saved us the big bucks.
Wow, okay.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to spend money fast on out to eat, especially if you have multiple people. You're like, okay, what else do you want? What else do you want? You just throw it all in, and then you're like, $100? There is not a time we don't take the kids somewhere we don't spend $800 at least.
Yeah.
Like everywhere we go, $100.
Or if it's
$100,
just the two of you
$100.
and you're going out to dinner every Friday and you're like, you know what, we're going to stay in and we're going to do something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could totally save money using Keto Chow as a convenient and affordable meal.
Yeah.
And Tony echoes that comment. Keto Chow is my lunch every day. It ends up working out to about $1 less than I would have spent buying food at the cafeteria at work.
And the cafeteria food's not always the best.
Yeah, and a lot of times the prices at cafeteria foods are even lower than they normally would be to the public.
Right.
Companies can get away with like not charging sales tax to just their employees. But yeah, so if you're saving $1 a day, like that's a big deal, especially if you need the money for other stuff.
Yeah.
But also think about the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a cafeteria at work, going
That's
to get
good.
Yeah, like the time investment to going to get lunch is not that bad. Like you're just popping down,
Walk down
getting
the
it.
stairs.
That's a nice break,
Sit
right?
down, have a break.
How long does it take? This Wendy's here.
Yeah.
The closest Wendy's to our office
It's actually
right
pretty
here.
close. It's like, what, 3 blocks away?
No, it's way up there by Redwood Road.
Oh, by our house.
That is the closest Wendy's
That's
to
still
this
not that far.
location. And you've got a major
like 10
road
minutes.
with not a lot of places. Yeah, it's like 10 or 15 minutes. So you have to leave, drive there, get your stuff, come back.
Then eat it when your lunch is already over.
Or you have to pay for a delivery service.
Yeah, which costs a lot more. It's
And
like,
so-
what, $5 for delivery?
So think about how much that delivery service costs versus your time. And think about how much Keto Chow costs and your time. It's along the same lines. You are saving so much money by having something simple like Keto Chow ready to go that you don't have to go out and get. And we run into this at work all the time. It's kind of unfortunate because I typically will have my lunch as Keto Chow. And a lot of our team will have meeting.
Oh, yeah. And it kind
And
of
sometimes they go a little bit long. You actually blocked out
mandatory
an hour.
lunchtime. Like, I don't care.
You cannot schedule
do
any
not
meetings.
talk to me about work at this time.
But it still happens that like we'll have a
roll over
1
into
o'clock
the-
meeting just after lunch, and there will be people who will be late because they could not get away from work to go get it. And it's not like we're sitting there driving
Yeah, we are.
slave drivers, but they're working, they're in the zone. And being
when
in
you're
the
in the zone,
in a flow state, like that's actually one of the reasons why I love having Keto Chow for lunch, is I can just keep going. We have a really good comment from one of our customers that I think kind of stands on its own and is really applicable to the discussion that we're having.
Okay, you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay, Mike says, food on the keto diet is generally more expensive than highly processed high-carb foods. Okay, good point. If you compare Keto Chow to eating ribeyes, then it's definitely cheaper to drink a Keto Chow.
True.
Keto Chow is also less expensive than a typical fast food meal and far better for you. When you eat fast food on keto, you usually have to pay even more because when you eliminate all the carbs, sometimes you need to buy 2 sandwiches, that's what we're saying, without bread to fill you up. It's really a convenient food. If you compare it to eating a lot of eggs with a low-end hamburger, then it's a little more expensive.
True.
But you just mix and drink. No cooking is required. Convenience is worth paying extra for sometimes. It is also easier in the sense that you don't need to do a bunch of math to add up all the macros in the foods you cook. That is true.
Yep.
It is really nice to be able to just know what it is. It's in part a matter of time. If you have a lot of time to cook all your meals from scratch, then the Keto Chow folks themselves will tell you to do that.
Yes, we will.
I would say that most people use Keto Chow for only part of their meals, with the remaining meals mostly being cooked from scratch.
Absolutely. Mike nailed it on the head. Hey, if you've got time to cook something amazing at work or at school or in the middle of the day when you're going from appointment to appointment, hey.
Also, will you cook for me?
Yeah, that would be actually ideal. A lot of people will say, just eat real food.
We also agree. Eat real food.
Now, Keto Chow is real food, but one other thing that Mike's comment made me think of when he was talking about, going to the fast food places and get it. I don't actually know. I can guess at the ingredients in this. There's some bacon, there's some American cheese. I don't know what kind of cheese this actually is.
Yeah, it's processed cheese for sure.
I don't know what was in the bacon. I can
It's
see
have
that there's
in it because bacon mostly usually
well,
does.
there's so much ketchup on this anyway. It's a moot point. But one interesting thing about that I didn't know, one of our guys pointed out that the beef, I had always assumed that Wendy's just had beef in their beef, like beef and salt.
What?
They actually use sodium stearyl lactate to bind together the beef, which I don't know that that's actually an issue.
A problem.
But I also don't know what they used to cook these. I don't know if there were seed oils involved.
Oh, that's true.
Because with a lot of different places that cook hamburgers with flame broil, it's just flames.
Right.
It's okay. Sometimes with places like this where they're frying it on a big pan, they will use a vegetable oil or something.
Yeah.
Other foods that were cooked on there before, like if you have sensitivities, it can be problematic. With Keto Chow, I know exactly what's going in there. I know that it's super high quality ingredients that were chosen specifically for their nutrition.
Yeah, and you know how you react to it.
Yeah.
That's the thing about eating out. You never know like what other things could be in there or those inflammatory things.
Anyway, so that's what we wanted to talk about today, comparing that. If you have any questions, let us know down in the comments. Also, what is your favorite go-to fast food when you are somewhere weird and you cannot cook? Like, where do you go for fast food? If you can't make Keto Chow, if you can't get anything else, what do you go for?
Thanks.
Okay, bye. Everybody.